Hey guys, hope that you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to follow us on all platforms, your favorite podcast stations, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Always Ready Online. Tap into our weekly live training each and every week on Thursdays at 6:30. We take a deeper dive into what we discuss here. Find us, catch us, tap in. Let's go.
No, you ain't catching me. I'm a receiver, bruh. Can't get. Well, no, you'll catch me now.
You're a slow receiver.
Yeah, my hamstring.
You're a slow
right
receiver now.
Man, I'm probably like a forever guy. Be hurting. I can imagine running a 40-yard dash right now.
I think I got about a. What you think you run? I probably think I got a.
Whatever you say, add point.
I got
two.
I got a 4.6 in me for
So
sure.
you 4'8" guy.
You don't think I got a 4.6
You a
in me?
4'8" guy.
Like a mid 4.6.
Your first 10 yards will probably be explosive, but your top end turnover speed is you're gonna be done.
Trash.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been working out, baby. I've been getting back to it.
Yeah.
I've been getting back to it. Now let's take a poll now. Let's take a poll right here
It's
on
only
national.
There's only two people that's
on national.
All right.
TV.
All right.
You mentioned that you weren't gonna work out.
Right.
Then recently you said, "Nah, wait a minute. I'm getting back into the gym."
Mm-hmm.
What have you been doing?
No, I've been in the gym.
Been in the gym?
Just for like a few days.
5 a.m.?
Nah, like 9.
No.
Nah, it's too early. No, man, Governor DeWine opened stuff back up.
Okay. So you feel good? You feel
Well, I
solid?
felt good when I walked into the gym. You know, you walk in. Once I saw that it wasn't a lot of people with masks on. I mean, all the people working at the gym have on masks, so you can't really see. But most of the people working out, they straight, man. Yeah. So I felt confident.
Keep your distance.
Nah, I mean, you know, you walk past people, you know, give them a fist bump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's straight. Ain't nobody, as long as nobody coughing and sneezing, you know what I mean, you good.
You getting any spots?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You getting a spot? I'm not.
Yeah.
You getting spots?
Like, yeah, spot me, yeah. I'm good.
It might be a little close.
Nah, man, I'm straight. I'm not, I'd rather somebody spot me than, I mean, could you imagine? Like,
I mean, you just don't got to go that heavy.
But it don't matter if it's heavy. Now, it could be 225 on the bench or something. And you like.
You are not getting a spot with 225.
I'm not, but I'm saying. But if you don't, and say you're not going that heavy.
If I see you getting a spot with 225.
Look, no, I'm saying. If you don't go heavy and say you pull a muscle or something, could you imagine not getting, like, man, why don't you have a spot? Man, I didn't want to get that COVID. And
that's legit.
Just land on you? What if it like land on you or something?
That's legitimate.
Nah,
like, yo, I ain't want to.
I know who spotted me. So if I know something go down, I know who the culprit was. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
It was one person that was close enough. Man.
I tell you what, man, I've been down to, I mean, obviously we've been touching on a lot of the protests and what's been going on in across the globe, obviously in the streets. I mean, you know, it's the only way you can really demonstrate is you got to get out there. And it was like, COVID where? You know, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Risk versus reward. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to risk it all because this is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. This is a worthy cause and situation. Like, forget COVID. I'll catch whatever. You know what I'm saying? To demonstrate, you know, equal rights and equality, and you know, fight for injustice. And so I've been seeing cats. You know, obviously we participated. A couple here in Columbus. I mean, Columbus has definitely, you know, stood up and unified on what they've been doing. I mean, honestly, I think Columbus was probably one of the first cities, at least, that I'm aware of. You know what I mean?
Minneapolis.
Yeah, Minneapolis. I think LA, and then it was like Columbus. I was like, whoa, are we out there?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But you know, we've been able to participate in some demonstrations, and a lot of people are. Some people are, you know, being cautious wearing masks, and some people aren't. I mean, I'll be honest, like, I'm being a little more lenient on the mask. I'm still taking my precautions. Don't get me wrong. I'm still, you know, but it's getting hot. It's getting hot, bro. Like, man, I gotta get this mask off.
Somebody told me they saw you. Like, I saw Antonio at Home Depot. He didn't have a mask on though.
Dang, they snitching?
Yeah, they snitching. I'm like, dang. That must have been. He must have forgot it or something. Yeah. You got like all the colors and everything.
Hey man, shout out to our guy, man. Give a shout out to our guy Chris Fields, former teammate. I know he's getting some masks done and selling some masks. He gave me a couple samples, so I got them. I wear them, you know what I mean? But I pick and choose. But anyway, at the demonstrations, you know, I've been seeing, it's probably, well, I say maybe 70-30. A lot of people still got them on, but some people like, I'm straight.
What you said something when you first started talking, like, you know, where did COVID go? So my question is, where did COVID go? Before we even get all the way into the protest, because one of two things is gonna happen. Either it's just gone and we just gonna forget about it because just that's how things happen. Like bad things happen around the world, around the country, and then next news cycle is something new and you just kind of forget it, or it's coming back. Now, White Nate, we got to keep talking about White Nate so everybody know White Nate. They ain't never seen him, but White Nate is like convinced that COVID probably wasn't even around. Like, I think he think it was around, but like he's like, man, you know what I'm saying? So
hold on, man.
So now it's gone. So he's like, let's go, let's roll, let's rock and roll. But I need to know where it went.
Hold on.
Where did it go?
We'll talk about COVID, but man, I love White Nate, but can we keep on with White Nate? What if they called you Black Roy?
Come on, man. Why you gotta be that guy?
Huh?
Because he's White Nate.
So we all right? We good?
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want no problems.
No, we need to let people know he's White Nate because we work with more than we're a diverse group. Like, we about unity.
Okay.
And so we got White Nate in our corner. He's been rocking with us before all this.
Right.
He didn't call me and ask me if I was doing all right. Like, people was calling, hey man, we just making sure. Like, do not call your black friend and ask them if they doing all right.
Why not?
Because
you got to check. I mean, what's the problem with that?
Like, are you doing all right? Or like, is that the question? Are you doing okay?
I think it's okay. I think it's fair for you to call and check.
Say it to check up and say, are you okay?
I mean, maybe you don't say these exact words, but you like check up.
Just
like,
don't call and ask me if I'm okay.
Why? What's your response?
Because I was okay before. This ain't the first time that, you know what I'm saying? Like, am I okay? Yeah, I'm good. Are you good? Because I'm good. Are you good is the question. Yeah. How are you handling this?
Well, I tell you what, man, I've been calling. My bad. Hold on. We got to get back to COVID before I get into this other thing. Man. So where is COVID going, or where it's at? I mean, it's around. It's still around. Obviously, I think it's becoming, you know, it's not making that headline, so to speak, anymore because, you know, I think the fear is starting to diminish. Right?
That's good.
I think the fear is starting to diminish, which, you know, now the chaos is down a little bit. All right, it's still around. I'm sure people are, but the injection of fear is kind of no longer there. You know what I mean? Hence why, okay, I feel a little freer taking off my mask in certain situations. You feel a little more freer going to the gym. It was like, hey man, you go to the gym, like you gonna catch it and die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
right.
Some people maybe, right? But like now we see how things are moving. We're able to analyze it from our own perspective, right? We are able to have our own experiences with it. You know what I mean? And so that fear is gone. So, I think ultimately the numbers are going as well. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen the last data points.
I don't think you looked at the first data point. I don't think you looked at that. Only reason you know, I can't even call him White Nate no more. Now I feel uncomfortable.
Why would you feel uncomfortable?
Because, man,
out of all people.
I mean, I don't, but I just, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to.
I just wanted to, you know.
I mean, Black Roy is different than Black Boy. That would be. First of all, I can't say Black Antonio because it's not. I don't know any white Antonios.
That don't really make sense.
Yeah.
Say like, it's not Antonio anyways. Antonio.
Anyway, so. Hey man, I'm telling you, this COVID thing is either gonna come back, or
I think it. You know, they've been talking about it like in the fall. It'd be another run of it. But I think we're more prepared to handle it. You know what I mean?
So nobody's afraid anymore, is what you saying?
I think I'm not gonna say that.
You kind of still afraid, a little bit.
Me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why would you say that?
Because you like 50-50 on your mask. If you wasn't afraid, you wouldn't be wearing your mask.
Well, I mean, I got kids. I'm tell you what, if I didn't have kids, I would even be more lenient. I got kids, you know what I mean? I gotta protect.
Yeah.
More so them, you know what I mean? I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah.
Meaning, I shouldn't say I'm not worried about it, but like I feel like, you know, I've been in the gym, bro. Like if I get COVID, I'm gonna beat it. I'm cool.
All right.
But I gotta protect, you know what I mean, my
There you
little
go.
ones that might
There
not
you go.
have. But I don't know, cause I be getting sick too though.
Listen, man. All I know is I watched a couple videos of some awesome displays of unity and then protests, but like around the world, I mean, France, England, I mean, they just like they tearing down statues. I saw a video, was in Cali somewhere, man. It looked like it was 1 million people out there. It looked like an NBA championship parade, and like just people on top of people on top of people. Man, that's dope. I'm just like, just make sure everybody's safe, man.
Yeah.
Cause that would be terrible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, you gotta stay safe.
what did
again,
everybody have on like the other day when you went down?
So Columbus,
downtown
man, Columbus actually did a dope little situation. They went down, called, you know, all black men, you know, anybody, but specifically called out black men and said, hey, come down here with suited and booted. You know what I mean? Like, let's make a statement.
What color you have on?
Now, so here's the deal. I attended, I went, I participated, you know, I was there. I didn't have on a suit.
I noticed. I didn't see you I didn't see a picture of you.
Yeah.
I saw you posting pictures of the event, but
Yeah.
I
mean, everybody didn't have on a
you
suit.
went down. You went down
went
to your slingshot.
Yeah, and I had went straight from another engagement,
Okay.
and I literally, I mean, you know, I kind of was one of those things like either I ain't had time to get a suit. It was like either go and be a part of it or don't go at all. So I figured, hey, at least going, you know what I'm saying, is better than not going at all, even though if I didn't have a suit on. But you know, it was maybe 1,000, you know, people out, men out in suits and just looking real nice. And, you know, the whole thing is like, yo, we got to present ourselves, you know what I mean? And represent ourselves. Not to say, you know, we going to be thought less of if you don't have a suit. We wear T-shirts and, you know, ball caps and things of that nature. But, you know, put yourself, you know, your best foot forward, you know what I mean? And let people know that to take you serious. And so it was just a great display and demonstration. I mean, obviously, you know, African Americans and our history of, you know, wanting to look nice and put on. Guys look nice, man. They look dope. You know, it was dope.
I seen a couple, like, I mean, I saw you posted, and then just some powerful pictures, man. It was good to see a lot of the bros out. I obviously didn't make it out, but it was just good seeing, I mean, a lot of the black leaders from the city.
You would have been out there dope with your suit too.
Yeah, I would have probably had on some fuchsia or something. It would have been some type of, it would have been like, you know how when you buy markers at the store, you got the basic colors, the Roy G. Biv joints, and then you got the other colors that like my suits are the other colors, whatever those are, the aquas and the teals and the.
Did you always know the Roy G. Biv like since like elementary school?
Yeah, once I knew it was, I could say my name.
Man, I just like learned that. Like when trying to teach my wife and my daughter was talking, I'm like, man, I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, that's how you set your colors in your closet up.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh, come on now. Ain't nobody doing that.
T-shirts, come on.
Who's doing that?
Come on, man.
Roy
That's just the color of the spectrum, man. Rainbows. Come on. No, they look good though, man. I was excited. So let me
hold on before you jump off to that, because I got also opportunity to, you know, what we talked about last week, the podcast was officers participating, you know, specifically our Columbus Police Department. And shortly after the podcast last week, I did see, you know what I mean, our officers being involved in the demonstrations and talking to the peaceful protesters and trying to have a sense of understanding. And so that was dope. Obviously, I know a lot of officers, man. We both know a lot of officers. We've had great relationships with some. Many of them are great people behind the badge, first and foremost.
And that's just not lip service, because you coached a lot of the guys, you know what I mean, with the Marauders. So I mean, you know them.
These guys, personally on a personal level, you know. And many of them are black and African Americans first and foremost. I'm black. I'm a black man too, you know. So it was good to see them out, again, peaceful, no issues from my understanding. And I got an opportunity to talk to a few officers, you know what I'm saying, and over the last week or so, and just really get their perspective on what's going on, and got some good insight, got some really good information. Hopefully to, you know, have one of them on the podcast or on our trainings here in the next couple of weeks, but continue to get their thoughts, right? Because again, we talked about it, just like, I'm just going to work. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to work and do my job and earn my wage and earn my living. And I signed up for this. And, you know, I'm looking like the enemy. And it's how do you come across not looking like the opposition? But anyway, got an opportunity to talk with them. I was glad to see that they've stepped up in that capacity, man. So hats off to, you know, all the officers. Yeah. Now, hold on.
Yeah.
With that being said, you want to talk about the shirt, t-shirt a little bit?
Yeah, we can get into that. I mean, if you want to.
There's a reason why. I laid you up. You know,
that was a terrible alley-oop.
That was my bad.
Cause I had something I wanted to say before, man. Like,
okay.
Matter of fact, we can get into we could talk about the shirts. I wanted to hit on what you just said though, just because, like, what is some of the insight though? I just want to like, what is some of the perspective that you got from the police officers? Because I think the emotions were so high, and we keep talking about this. Like, the higher your emotions are, like, the more you're not gonna be able to get nothing done. You just can't make good decisions, right? You're just angry, you upset, and so it was so much anger and so much outrage that when the police showed up, they almost showed up like a line. Yeah. And it almost was like they represented what we got to break through to get our point across. Right. And then, as we talked about last week, the shift went from, no, they not scared of us right now, right? And like people getting arrested and it don't matter and it's just a problem. And then the imagery of the police officers kept being, look at how they throwing us down. They doing exactly, now they doing it to everybody. And to your point, they just trying to do their job. Yeah. And so now everybody like, look at the police officers around the country. This is not just in one place, this is everybody. And the more that kept happening, the more police became the problem until we saw some groups step up and say, nah, I'm with y'all. Right. And so as soon as that happened though, peaceful protest, because now it's like ain't no we just gonna walk because we going to a destination where we going, state house, wherever it may be. But if they walking with us, nobody is angry. So it's like the people that we supposed to be mad at, they actually with us. Right. So now we can walk together. And I think since then you haven't been seeing, even on TV, you haven't really been seeing a lot of it anymore because people have just shifted. Like, you know, nah, we with y'all too. Yeah. Let's just walk. And then if we walk together and we got peace, bro, ain't nobody doing nothing. So
here's some insight I got on that, because one of my thoughts was like, and we seen a couple officers speak out, but not as many as I would hope. You know, like if you're an officer and you are against what's going on, right? You know, why aren't you a part of the solution? Why aren't you a part of the voice? You know, why aren't you a part of the walk initially? Right. And you know, how I equate it is, almost think, you know, as we play sports, we know what happens inside our locker room. So if you have an issue with somebody in your locker room, you're not supposed to technically air that out. You handle that internally. You know what I mean? Now we can talk about New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees here in a second, because their locker room situation. But hold on, before I get there, is you keep that in your locker room. So, you know, I see it from that one perspective, and I'm like, okay, if an officer, you know what I mean, they took that off, like, you know, they kind of share a level of brotherhood or sisterhood or what have you. And so they need to keep, you know, they want to keep that stuff internal. I'm not going to speak out on another fellow officer. However, to me, there's some things that you got to cross that line. And this is no longer a locker room. You know, we can't just keep this in the locker room. Yo, we got to step outside and handle this, and whatever that means, you know, voice our opinion. But what I've learned, you know, an officer, a part of their, when they sign, and, you know, a part of their rules and regulations, if you will, is, you know, there's some fine lines of how do I speak, when do I speak, right? You know, because they can get fired, I'm sure, blackballed,
and they probably got higher ups too, like.
Exactly. Yup. So it's a, you know, it's a chain of command, and many of them don't want to lose their jobs by, you know, simply, you know, making a comment. Now, with that being said, from my understanding is those policies can be reviewed and potentially changed. Okay. So if you are a department, right, and your leader, your chief, or what have you, maybe a part of this solution is, hey, we need to rework these rules and regulations in certain instances and allow our officers, right, to speak out against just total wrongdoing. Right. What I, you know, and I don't know exactly, don't quote me on this, but from what I understand in Indianapolis, they're also making some changes, and they've made it a part of their process demanding officers if they see excessive force.
Okay.
Now they're demanded to step in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now that because think about it, like, okay, do I step in? Do I step on his toes? Like, he might be, he has some senior rank. You know what I mean? And so I understand sometimes, but just as a human, we got to look at it from that standpoint, like human being.
Good.
So anyway, that's the perspective. One perspective that I got. And hopefully that happens. I'm hoping that happens in our city, but across the country, man, because when the officers are the ones like, nah, we not with that. Now that automatically kind of wins over some level of credibility. And so you don't have that opposing force. Hey, I got to stay in here because this is my job. Now I'm rocking with you. And you know what? I'm going to avoid. Matter of fact, I'm on your side. Hey, nah, this ain't right. You know what I mean?
No, I think that what they figured out is we may not be able to do exactly what we want to and say what we want to, but we can allow our actions to show that we are in support of the cause, which is where the protesting coming in and out. So now I'm not going to shut you down from walking. We're going to walk with you. And so that speaks volumes in itself to let people know, like, this is where we stand on this particular issue versus, hey man, I can't say anything because I don't want to, and so I think that's the first move. The policy changes on whatever that means, or laws or whatever it may be, that's going to be a good piece. Which actually leads us into what you brought up earlier, just our t-shirt. So we came out with the t-shirt in collaboration with Soul Classics, and the t-shirt on the front, it says "Silence is not an option." We'll probably have it on next week for sure. But you can go on driventees.org and get that. We have it in black, and we also have it in white. Silence is not an option. And the statement is so powerful because it speaks to everyone, right? Where being quiet, not necessarily verbally, because you can speak in many ways. You can obviously contribute resources to the many causes all around the country, featuring the Black Lives Matter movement. So many different things locally, and grassroots organizations doing some great things. So you can contribute, you can speak up through resources. You could use your voice, your actual voice, right? You can make videos, you can post little 15-second videos, you can film things that obviously that you may think is excessive force or whatever if you happen to see it. You can tweet, you can get on IG and post pictures. Those are all ways that you can speak up. You can obviously get out and protest. You can make signs. There are so many different ways. Another way to not keep silent is to educate yourself to be able to have the conversation when the conversation comes. Watching documentaries, getting on YouTube and looking up different things. We have like guides to be able to do that, always ready online. .com to get different resources and whatnot, but there's different ways that you can speak up to be able to make a difference. Now, my thing, I like clothing because if you have a quality t-shirt or a quality shirt, you'll probably wear it. Like, our shirts are real nice, 52% cotton, 48% polyester. That's a whole nother conversation, but feels real good on your skin. But people wear clothes and the statement is so bold, you can see it from 50 yards away. You can see it from 100 yards away. And you can still make a statement from what you wear. That's another way to not keep silent. But at the end of the day, we want to figure out ways to keep the momentum going. That's the biggest thing for me. We just shut down the whole world for 2 months with COVID, and ain't nobody talking about it no more. So you go from something that was literally has killed over 100,000 lives in the United States, and then we're not even dealing with it no more. Like, it's over and done with. So now all of a sudden, here we are 60 years later, 70 years later from civil rights movements and different things like that. It's the same conversation we was having before. It just kind of went away, came back, went away, came back, went away. So how now in our t-shirts is how we implemented part of the solution to keep the momentum going, because the conversation cannot stop. Right? It just can't stop. It has to keep going.
Yeah, nah, totally agree. I mean, again, I think now here was the interesting part. Because of COVID and the world being shut down, this has magnified this situation.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? if the world was operating as normal, maybe this situation wouldn't be as big. But because there's literally nothing else going on, no sports, nothing else in the world, like your ears and eyes are focused. Boom, this is national news. Let me tap in. And so what this has done is has certainly grabbed the attention, I believe, of everyone, as we can see kind of around the world, leaders, politicians, normal everyday folks. Like, yo, we need to do something. Silence is not an option. And I think just that alone is going to allow this conversation to continue much farther than experiences and situations in the past where time usually kind of just kind of kills off that buzz. So excited about that, man. Excited to continue to do, our part, right? Do your part, whatever that means. Do your part, man. Whatever that means in this situation. Let's talk, talking about the locker room and how this has brought attention, though. Of course, everyone feels like maybe they got a voice, and sometimes their voice is not kind of along with what's happening. They're going to go against it. Drew Brees.
There you go.
New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
See, here's the deal. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Why your voice get high like that?
I don't know why. Point. Drew Brees even, like, where was the comment coming from?
It was an interview.
It was an interview.
And somebody asked, how do you feel about guys this season? A lot of guys are talking about kneeling during the national anthem this season. How do you feel about guys protesting that way going into this season? Okay. And so
that's pretty much a loaded question.
Oh, first of all, no, it was a setup.
Straight setup.
Yeah, like, because you got
boom.
Ready for you.
I mean,
it was a setup.
And you got to know that. I think a part of the problem with the Drew Brees situation was, as a veteran, as one of the top players and leaders in the National Football League, like, you've been around the block 100 times, bro. You know these reporters. You know the setup. Right. You know what I mean? Don't fall victim. Be more aware, right? Like, be more aware. Right. How do you fall victim to that? So that was a part of the situation initially. You know what I mean? And of course, he made a statement about his opinion on respect for the flag and that he wouldn't necessarily.
He doesn't support anybody that's
going against
the flag. Yeah.
And it's just wrong timing. You know what I mean? Like, if that's your opinion, right? I mean, I think, I don't know. What would you say about that? Like, the flag? I mean, is it 50-50? Is it
on what?
People either forced kneeling or, specifically national anthem against the flag. Like, you got, I don't know. Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? I mean, it's a good amount of people that's.
Yeah, I think at this point it's just more about.
Not at this point. I'm saying kind of before.
Before, nah, it was probably 90-10.
Really?
Like, do not kneel. Like, it was massive.
Okay.
It was massive. I mean, so much so that one of the best quarterbacks in the league at the time, I mean, he led his team to a Super Bowl. Like, you're not coming back. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't happen. The only time that you've ever seen a quarterback of that magnitude get nixed from the league like that I can remember was Michael Vick from the dogfighting piece. Like, you talking about somebody who's had
he came back.
$100 million contract. Now he came back, but I mean, done. Like, no, we don't. You out. Like, you know what I mean? Where you was at the top of your game and then you gone for whatever reason.
Went to jail too.
Well, I know. I'm saying he went to jail, but I'm saying like somebody at the height of his career and then just for whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Colin Kaepernick the same way. Like, top. Like, he still got the record for like most rushing yards in a playoff game ever by a quarterback, like 100, 200 yards or something like that. You lead your guys to the Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for that blackout, they probably would have won, because that's when the Ravens won. It was that blackout and San Francisco was up. And then when they came back after the blackout was over, then Baltimore got the momentum. Anyway, but it was serious, man. Like, it was significant. Yeah. And so now I think the conversation has now shifted to, it's not about the flag. It's about the people underneath the governance of what the flag is supposed to stand for, and black people have not been able to benefit from everything that the flag is supposed to stand for the entire country. Now, having said that, Drew Brees ended up apologizing twice. He did a written one, right? Well written, sounded sincere in reading it through. Then he got on. A couple of people was making fun of me, did a little selfie thing, was like, you can see it in my eyes, I'm sincere. Then all his homies came out and said, quarterback made a mistake, we moving forward. Michael Thomas actually said, man, we're Christians, we supposed to forgive, we moving forward, that's what I'm doing, right? And I respect all of that. However, the question that I have for you is, there was a couple incidents, there was a race car driver or something that was playing little virtual games and dropped the N-word and used the N-word on whoever he was playing with. Then he didn't know he was being recorded. Came back out, so the next day he put out an apology. So if somebody says something and they're honest with their feelings in their heart, and then comes out and apologizes for it, gets educated in the 24-hour period and apologizes, is that enough, or did they already show how they really feel underneath? But I'll rock with you, but I still, this is my deal.
Yeah.
Like, or is it like football and what we trying to do and win a Super Bowl is bigger than all that? So let's just come together as a team like we normally do. You got your feelings, we got our feelings. You apologize. Let's just move forward. Like,
I mean, I think it varies depending on the situation. You know, I mean, I think, does Drew Brees really feel that way? Yeah.
And then he called out President Trump too. He like added him with a whole deal.
Yeah,
like,
I seen that.
know.
But I mean, is that how you really felt at that
Right.
time? Yes. Now, can you gain a different perspective?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Can you see something a little differently that you didn't see before? Maybe you talked to someone, maybe, you know, you had some time to reflect on it. Maybe you learned something, you know, or educated yourself, as you mentioned. So, yes, I do believe that you can see a different perspective and be like, man, you know what? Dang, that wasn't the right decision. You know, again, in his instance, I don't necessarily know if to me, it was more of a timing thing. Like, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. And that was kind of my point. Like, I don't think he's going to change the strength of his feelings regarding the flag. I think he kind of understands now that we were never kneeling, you know, trying to disrespect the flag. It was never about the flag anyway.
Right.
But I think he still feels that way. I think he's like, I was insensitive.
Yeah.
You know, it was the wrong timing. Like, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? It was like, I apologize. Like, I've caused more confusion than I just thought I was probably just doing an interview.
Right.
And now I've caused a whole uproar across the country. So I definitely think that, so you can apologize, be genuinely sorry, and have a change of heart. But then, you know, I also think that you can just apologize just to, you know, let it smooth over.
Politically correct,
and get back to whatever it is that you truly, you know, at heart believe in.
All right, so last thought. Then if that's the case, and moving forward, and we're talking about the Black Lives Movement moving forward, we're talking about everything that has to happen to keep the momentum going. There are going to be, I believe, tons of slip-ups where people are trying to figure out what to say, how to communicate what they don't know. White people trying to educate themselves and be like trying to figure out how to do it, right?
Sure.
We on our training on Thursdays last week, I kind of equated it to teaching a kid how to ride a bike. Like, if you're trying to teach somebody how to ride a bike, they're gonna fall off, right? If you yell at them and scream at them when they fall off and not try and help them get back on, they're never gonna learn. Right, and they'll be fearful, and they won't even want to do it anymore if that's going to cause that much of an uproar. That's what we saw with Drew Brees. Like, he supported his guys, but then he made a statement, then he messed up, and then he fell off, and then people jumped on him, and then like some people kind of came to his aid, and so now he's back on the bike again. Well, hopefully he doesn't fall off, but there'll be other people that fall off, and as this thing continues to go, I believe what Michael Thomas said is the thing that I believe is going to move us forward, which I've been saying from the beginning, is love and forgiveness. And so not forgetting, like you mentioned, like it's just kind of swept under the rug, we're going to move forward. But actually like, hey, not only do I forgive you for what happened, but I'm going to forgive you ahead of time for if you screw it up. Because I think even in conversation, I heard the other day somebody used the word colored. Like, they didn't even know that calling a black person colored wasn't like you're not supposed to do that these days. Like, man, those colors, like, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't say it in a way that they was trying to be offensive. I just think that, you know, you come from a town, ain't no black people, and that's just what it's always been. It's like color, like they just didn't even know that that was offensive. Right. And so when that happens, if you got people that's really trying to move forward, I just encourage people to just like keep that in mind, that it's not gonna be, oh, y'all listen to a couple videos on YouTube, y'all know what we gone through, and y'all march with us, so y'all know what it is. Like that conversation and that talk, you got to be able to forgive and kind of move off quickly and try and get to the bottom of people's hearts, man.
So 2 things on that. I mean, one, I think that, you know, it's a whole education piece and it's a whole diversity piece, meaning, you know, these leaders in these positions that are, and people just in general that are trying to make change. Hey, let's have a diverse group of people at the table, right? Bouncing these ideas off so we don't make a tragic mistake. That's good. Right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, we can lead the charge as black men, African American leaders and black men and women, but we need some white people at the table too. We need some purple people at the table. Like we need come to the table, man, and have a unified, diverse group. A purple person. Man, they out here. Trust me. That's the first thing.
Is that like dark black? Like
nah, like grape, you know, like a light anyway, Kool-Aid.
There you go.
The second thing though is, to your point, there are gonna be some mistakes. I'm all for try. Yeah. So what happens if you're so worried and fearful about making mistakes, then it slows the process and the progression. Right? Oh man, I got to get this thing checked 100 times before we put it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying just go out and do things unconsciously, but what I'm saying is go ahead and try it. If it doesn't work, you know what I mean? We can retool, we can you know, but don't make the process so drawn out and it's got to be perfect, to your point, because it's, you know, it's a work in progress. It's not going to be perfect ever, but you know, instead of trying to get to that level of perfection, just work about trying to do something.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And if we can go and do something, we'll figure it out as we go along. But we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to get it right. People are going to mess up. People are going to make mistakes. People won't say things that they didn't quite mean at the time, or timing was off. And that's black, white, and different, everybody. You know what I mean? So to your point, yes, we got to be mindful of that, kind of understand that going into the situation. And the only way we're going to be, think about it, man. You know, we're a big proponent of failure, right? Waiting to fail. We're going to fail a lot. You know what I mean? But failure, right, gets us closer to the solution. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got to fail to kind of get to the solution.
Good. Well, all that kind of stems to silence is not an option. Silence is not an option. DrivenTees.org. Go get your tea. And 24 hours, we did like 100 T-shirts, which is awesome to support. One of the things we'll be doing, part of the proceeds will go towards helping inner city families get masks and food and nutritional juices and smoothies throughout the summer when it's hot. So we want to make sure those families are taken care of with school starting. A lot of those students are going to be needing masks, and we want to be able to equip them with that. So go to DrivenTees.org, check that out. AlwaysReadyOnline.com is where you can find all the information, all the all the old shows, all the links, everything you need is there. Tap into our training on Thursdays as well, and stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Easy. Bang, bang.
Nice.